The autumn rain drummed gently on my windshield as I eased into my parents' driveway for our monthly family dinner. These dinners had long since morphed from warm tradition into quiet punishment ever since I'd veered off the pristine career path my family had mapped for me. I checked the rearview mirror, adjusting my pearl earrings, my grandmother's parting gift. At 36, I bore none of the corporate polish my sister Jessica wore like armor. No designer suit, no glossy blowout, just simple professionalism, steady and unremarkable. The porch light clicked on as I approached, one of the many smart home touches Jessica had insisted on, a technological shrine to her efficiency and success. "Oh, Emma's here." My mother's voice drifted through the front door, familiar and vaguely disappointed. I was always Emma, not my brilliant daughter, not my pride and joy. Those titles were permanently reserved. Jessica opened the door, already perfect, Chanel suit, flawless waves, and that cool, patronizing smile she'd mastered before we hit high school. "On time? In this weather? That's new," she said, air-kissing my cheek. "Still driving that Honda?" "It still runs," I shrugged, hanging up my coat. "Well, sure, not everyone needs a Mercedes." Perk of being senior VP at Atlas. Of course, have I shown it to you yet? There it was, tonight's opening act of self-congratulation. The dining room gleamed, set with Mom's best china, an annual stage for the silent contrast between Jessica's glossy triumphs and my apparent mediocrity. Dad nursed a scotch at the head of the table. Mom fluttered around the plates. "Emma, dear," she called, "we sat you next to Aunt Sarah. Thought you two might have things in common." By things, she meant recent failures, divorces, career setbacks, the corner of quiet disappointments. "Actually," I said gently, pulling out a seat directly across from Jessica, "I'll sit here." Mom blinked, but said nothing. As the salad arrived, Jessica launched into her well-worn script. "I was just telling them about the promotion. Senior VP of Operations, youngest ever." "That's great," I said, sipping water. "And it's not just the title," she pressed on. "I'm leading the Thompson merger, managing the integration, practically running the whole company while they search for a new CEO." Dad beamed. "That's my girl." Jessica glanced at me. "Still doing that consulting gig, Emma? Or ready for something real?" Mom jumped in with a weak smile. "Now, Jessica." "I'm doing just fine," I replied evenly. "How's that merger going?" "Heard there were some complications." Jessica's smile twitched. "Nothing major, just a few hiccups. The board is thrilled with my leadership." "Ma'am." I cut my salmon with deliberate care. "And the tech integration? That part all squared away?" "Of course," she said it fast. Too fast. Silence. Mom scrambled to change the subject with neighbor gossip. Then Jessica straightened, her eyes glittering. "Actually, I have big news. Just came from a board meeting." Of course she did. "They're expanding my role. Starting next month, I'll oversee integration for both companies. It's basically a CEO-level position." "Basically," I echoed. She turned to Mom and Dad, glowing. "Can you believe it? 2 entire companies under my direction." I set down my fork, wiped my lips, and smiled. "Congratulations, Jessica. I'm the new CEO." Utter stillness. Jessica's wine glass froze mid-air. Dad's fork hit porcelain. Mom stopped mid-sentence. I'm sorry. "What?" Jessica stammered. "Atlas Corp," I said calmly. "The board appointed me CEO this morning. I start Monday." No, that's not possible. I'm senior VP. I would've known. Only the meetings you were in on. I've been consulting quietly with Atlas for 5 years. Tech division restructuring, due diligence, strategic planning for this merger. I pulled up an email on my phone. "The announcement goes out tomorrow. But since you'll report directly to me, I figured I'd give you a heads up." Her face drained of color. "And those complications you mentioned? We'll need to talk about that $300 million in undisclosed tech debt you missed." Dad slammed his glass on the table. "Emma, what the hell is going on?" I rose, smoothing my dress. "What's going on is that your nobody daughter has been steering this company from behind the curtain, while Jessica's been polishing her LinkedIn profile. I've been doing the work." I turned to her, eyes steady. "The merger, the board, the future of Atlas Corp, all of it runs through me now. You can't, Jessica began. But this time, she couldn't finish. I can, I said, cutting her off. And I will. Boardroom, Monday, 9 sharp. Don't be late. I picked up my purse and turned to our parents. Dinner was lovely as always. Maybe next time. We all sit at the main table. The walk to my Honda had never felt so good. Through the windows, I could still hear Jessica's voice rising in disbelief, Mom's anxious murmurs, and Dad's puzzled questions. But I was only getting started. Monday would bring the real reckoning. The Atlas Corp Tower glittered in the morning sun. 60 stories of steel and glass confidence. I pulled my Honda into the CEO parking spot, right beside Jessica's, well, Atlas's, Mercedes, and smiled when the security guard did a double take. Morning, Frank, I said, flashing my new badge. How's Sarah doing at school? He grinned wide. Doing great, Miss Thompson. That scholarship you helped her get? Life-changing. Inside, the lobby buzzed with energy. Word had leaked. The CEO announcement was today. Groups of employees whispered, eyes darting toward the elevators. Heard it's someone internal. Jessica Thompson. Probably. She's been talking like it's a done deal. Could be that consultant, the one who actually fixed everything. On the executive floor, things were oddly still. Madison, Jessica's assistant, looked like she'd just seen a ghost. She probably had. The announcement email hit inboxes at 8:30 a.m. Sharp. Good morning, Madison, I said smoothly. Is my sister in? Yes, Emma. She's in her office. Great. Please let her know I'll need her in the CEO's office in 10 minutes. Oh, and call me Emma. The CEO suite was just as I remembered. Dark leather, mahogany, an air of cold intimidation. That would change. Right on time. A text popped up. Jessica, we need to talk. Now. I opened my laptop and waited. 3, 2, 1. The door burst open. Jessica stormed in. Her poise cracked. Her Chanel suit was wrinkled, unthinkable for her. What the hell is this? She barked, slapping a printed email onto the desk. Is this a joke? Good morning to you too, I replied. Have a seat. I will not sit. Do you even understand what you've done? I've spent years building this. Relationships. Power. Do you think you can just reveal the merger problems you buried? The doctored reports? The credit you stole? Her mouth opened, then closed. She rallied weakly. You can't prove. I can, I said, turning my laptop toward her. And I did. The board reviewed it all. It helped them make their decision. Her voice dropped. The board? You knew the old board. They resigned last month. Remember? Pension scandal. The new board? They're not as easily dazzled. Jessica sank into the chair as if her knees had forgotten their job. You never saw me coming, I said quietly. You thought I was just your burnout sister. But I've been here the whole time, consulting, rebuilding Atlas from the inside out, waiting for the moment when skill would matter more than spin. I earned my role, she muttered, but there was no force behind it. No, you performed it, but now, here's your chance to earn something real. I slid a folder across the desk. Your new title, Junior Operations Manager. You'll report to the actual integration team, the one you've leaned on for 5 years. She blinked at the folder like it might explode. Junior, you can't demote me. You're welcome to resign, I said, but then I'll have to include everything in the SEC filings. I imagined recruiters might lose interest. The intercom buzzed. Miss Thompson, the board is ready for you. Thank you, Madison. I stood and smoothed my blazer. Come along, Jessica. I believe you prepared a merger presentation. Try using the real numbers this time. The boardroom was hushed as we entered. Jessica shuffled through her slides with trembling hands. And for once, her voice wavered. I watched impassively as she attempted to spin her usual story, only for the new board to dismantle it point by point. When she finally finished, I stood. And that, I said, is why we're restructuring the merger timeline. I've assembled teams to address the tech debt, teams who've been ready for months. The board chair nodded. Impressive. Not only in uncovering these issues, but in the foundational work that's kept this company alive the past 5 years. Jessica's head jerked up. Foundational work? Your sister, he said, has been behind nearly every successful initiative here, though I understand you took credit for many of them. The room emptied slowly. I touched Jessica's arm before she slipped away. Status meeting. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. My office, I said quietly. And Jessica, maybe skip the Chanel. Doesn't scream junior management. Back in the CEO suite, I dove into work. The Thompson merger needed surgery. The tech team was already humming. Culture changes were next. A ping from my phone. Mom, call us. We need to understand. I smiled and typed. Nothing to understand. Just your nobody daughter doing what she does best, succeeding. By late afternoon, executives I'd never spoken to were suddenly eager to shake my hand. Funny how quickly loyalty shifts with a new title. By evening, Jessica's nameplate was gone. Madison had been reassigned to me, with a well-earned promotion. The merger was already being course-corrected with solutions I'd written months ago. One last email popped up before I logged off. Jessica, you won't get away with this. Family doesn't do this to family. I stared at the screen, remembering every family dinner, every time she'd cut me down to boost herself up. I replied, you're right. Family doesn't do this to family. Remember that next time you take credit for someone else's work. See you tomorrow. Don't be late. The Honda purred as I backed out of the CEO parking spot. The night was crisp, the city alive. Tomorrow, I'd lead. Jessica, she'd learn. Every week, she sat through status meetings, presenting hard data, not polished illusions. Then came Tuesday morning, and everything shifted again. I was deep in quarterly reports in my newly redesigned office, open, modern, collaborative, when Madison buzzed in. Your parents are here, she said carefully. No appointment. I sighed. After 6 months of ignored calls and declined invitations, they'd finally resorted to a surprise visit. Send them in. They stepped in, looking somehow older and smaller than I remembered. Mom's designer outfit felt like armor. Dad, once so commanding, now hesitated on the threshold. They scanned the space, the same office they'd visited years ago to celebrate Jessica's achievements. Nice view, Dad said, gesturing weakly toward the windows. Better than the failure corner at dinner, I said evenly. Please, have a seat. They lowered themselves into the sleek conference chairs, far removed from the old regime's imposing leather. Mom clutched her handbag like it might protect her. Emma, she started, we've been trying to reach you. I've been busy. Running a company takes time. You should know, you used to applaud Jessica's 60-hour weeks while brushing off my consulting phase. Dad shifted. We may have judged too quickly. Too quickly? I opened a file on my laptop. Let's review. 5 years of family dinners where I sat in the failure corner. Dismissive comments about getting a real job. The time you skipped my firm's launch party for Jessica's promotion toast. That wasn't quick judgment. That was a pattern. We didn't know, Mom said, her voice brittle. Jessica always told us. That's just it. I cut in. You never asked me. Never looked past what you wanted to believe. Never noticed how Atlas Corp's biggest wins kept sinking with my consulting work. Dad's voice softened. And now? I turned the screen toward them. Atlas is stronger than ever. The Thompson merger Jessica nearly wrecked? It's transforming the industry. The tech division she dismissed? Now our fastest growing sector. And Jessica? Mom asked, barely audible. See for yourself. I pressed the intercom. Madison, please send in Jessica. Moments later, Jessica entered, dressed in understated business casual. The gloss was gone, no designer suit, no calculated confidence. She looked smaller, real. Take a seat, I told her. Your quarterly review's due. She handed over a folder, paper, not polish. Her report was factual, grounded, modest but meaningful progress. Thank you, I said when she finished. Much better than last quarter. You're learning. Our parents sat frozen. The dynamic they had known for 36 years had flipped. One more thing, I added, sliding a folder across the table. The board reviewed your performance. They're offering you a promotion, Senior Operations Manager, Minneapolis office. Jessica's eyes widened. Seriously? You earned it, I said clearly, with actual work. It starts next month. Minneapolis? Mom gasped. It's a fantastic opportunity, I said, unless you'd prefer to stay here. Jessica shook her head. No, I want it, thank you. When she left, Silence lingered until Dad finally said, "We were wrong." "Yes," I said simply. "Can we make it right?" Mom asked. I leaned back, touching the pearl earrings Grandma left me. "That depends. Are you ready to see me, not as Jessica's shadow, not as the family disappointment, but as who I've always been?" They nodded, uncertain but sincere. "Then we can try, starting with dinner. My house this time. No comparisons, no failure corner, just family." That evening, after they left, I stood by the window watching the city lights flicker on. My phone buzzed. A message from Jessica. "Thank you. For the chance. For everything." "You earned it," I replied. "That's the difference." Then another from Mom. "Your home is beautiful, just like you. We're sorry it took us this long to see it." I smiled, fingers grazing the pearls. Success wasn't about titles or suits. It was about doing the work, standing tall, and letting others grow into the truth. Madison buzzed in one last time. "Tomorrow's schedule is ready. Board meeting at 9 o'clock. Strategy review at 11 o'clock. Thompson team at 2 o'clock. "Thanks, Madison. One more thing." "Yes?" "Move the family photo from the failure corner to my desk. It's time for new memories." The city shimmered below. This office, this life, was mine, not through shortcuts or spin, but earned, step by step, quietly, steadily, authentically. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong. It's becoming someone they can't ignore anymore.